I remember that.
Want to welcome everyone back again for another like manga chapter read. We have chapter 331, right, of My Hero Academia to read. But first, Mark, there's something that we do before every single new manga chapter. What would that be?
Episode.
I think the mic cut off too.
Perfect.
Perfect. So, and you know, it's been like 2 weeks, so I'm glad that like we had the recap episode. But I do know it was like in the middle of a fight, so this was legitimately this was the fight that introduced Stars and Stripes quirk, which was
Want to get a snack? Be right back.
oh, actually, yeah, sure.
Catch them up.
Actually, you know what? Can I take this opportunity to just take a leak? I think I'll just do that. All right, Mark. Let me go ahead and get started with the recap. I didn't know if I should have like went ahead with that at least, but I was like, you know, it's been 2 weeks. Let's just go ahead and like get and just do the recap together. So essentially, it's Stars and Stripe with her team of like bombers, right? It's them versus all for Shiggy on the back of a flying Nomu, who's just really at this point providing just flight support. I would say that the previous chapter does a really good job in showing how all for Shiggy has like a really good handle on like applying different quirks together. In this case, one of them is called like radio waves plus air cannon, plus heavy payload, but I think radio waves and air cannon was used before, like before. If anything, it could have been one of those where like it was shown off once, and then the next time we saw something like equivalent to that was literally all for Shiggy zooming in on like Deku and Bakugo, just saying like, "Give me that quirk." Hey, yo, hand it over.
I want it.
Oh, but yeah, this was the introduction to Stars and Stripes quirk, which was New Order, right? Pretty much given the name and the new rules set in place, that is Stars and Stripes' new power. So the most broken way to introduce this was the fact that a quick statement, air, as of now, does not exist 100 meters ahead of me.
The air is non-existent.
Which is already broken because you literally just defied the physics involved there.
Really define the very laws of nature.
Right. And so that quirk, just applying new rules, has limitations. She can only apply to 2 things at once. One of them is always on herself, because that makes sense. And the other one is just for like whenever it can be used for the betterment like of a fight. So pretty much she grants herself super strength similar to All Might, but not like quite there yet. Just enough to give you a really nice cool panel spread of just decking someone.
Just taking them straight in the schnoz.
I do want to give shout outs to the previous chapter because they did a panel of All Might like in his jersey, and I was like, that's a cool jersey. Come on now. But she wallops all for Shiggy, and she was like, all right, well, you know, I already touched you, so I'm going to say that if Shigaraki moves at all, his heart's going to stop. And little did we know that, like, Shigaraki wanted that to happen because All For One's there. They're technically 2 personas, so that's not Tomura Shigaraki by himself. So that's like literally, we got you. So here we go. And then like we get a zoom out of like just sparks happening like in the middle of the air, and we have no idea what's going to happen until this chapter. So I think we're good to go. Let's jump into chapter 331. And what a panel to start off on. I'll give you like an audio for the illustration shown up here. And just I love how this is drawn because it must be fucking bright. It sends a Stars and Stripe like back as like the clouds like below this like shockwave slash explosion like just open up. Oh my god, I just read this too. This is chapter 331, United States of America.
Mhm.
The memes are coming in quick. Coming here to save the motherfucking day, America.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Bed Bath and Beyond. Fuck yeah. Okay. Oh my god. This is a Dragon Ball Z reference. I'm not gonna like front about that. Star Stripe just said, "Does his hair just grow? What's going on with this guy?" She lands on one of the bomber jets. Or actually, I have no idea what just happened here. I think that might be all for Shiggy right there. I can't tell. All right, but let me go to the next page. This is kind of illustrate. Oh, it is. It's a pretty big like page panel, but pretty much Pilot's just unfortunately having to look at Ulfra Shiggy, who's just like sitting like or standing
Please
like
don't-
right on top of him.
Please don't kill me.
He says, "Now I get how New Order works." I guess I'll go ahead and read this part too, and then I'll leave it to you afterwards. But he says, "It may be supreme, but it's still constrained by rules of its own." We get some context here. Just a panel of
Is that a pentagon?
yeah, it's the Pentagon actually. And then of course a little just nice portrait of like Stars and Stripe, but it says the USA's number one hero, Stars and Stripe. The government strictly oversees her quirk. The particulars of how it works are highly classified, though the public gets the gist, based on her visible heroics. She touches the target, says its name, assigns her rule of choice, a jaw-dropping, unreasonable power that makes the world her plaything, and that one that practically redefines what a quirk can be. But I've learned quite a bit from our battle so far. All right, Mark.
Right. As far as powering up a living physical body, a living physical body goes, there's a hard limit. I just hear her punching him again in the flashback. Otherwise, she would have tried to kill me right from the start by crushing my head with her pure power. On the other hand, there's no limit to how much a rule can incapacitate someone, and it shows her flashback to his heart will stop. One could think of it as a barometer with an upper cap, a gauge she can set at will, I suppose. However, judging from the fact that she didn't say if he touches the air within this set range, he dies, one assumes that the new rule can't arbitrarily involve things that she hasn't touched, just through roundabout wording. Or perhaps she could make such a rule, but maybe it would be less effective. Still, look at the earlier lasers and vacuum. She boasts an impressive degree of freedom when it comes to non-living things. Apparently, therein lies New Order's true utility. The difference in efficiency between rules for living and non-living things must have to do with the process of naming the target. Her new rule for me didn't take hold because her understanding doesn't quite mesh with reality. When Miss Star touched me, she believed me to be Tomura Shigaraki. But even my understanding of myself is hazy. Am I Shigaraki? Or All for One? Or Shimura even? That's a theory that people had, is because his real name is actually, it's Shimura, not Shigaraki.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Also, I just
There's also
realized
the
that
thing is that he doesn't really know who he is right now.
yeah. Also, just let everyone else know that like I understand that like my Mark's audio is bleeding into my mic, and I was thinking like, oh, we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, don't worry about that. I think we'll just kind of leave it as is for now, just because of settings.
When calling the name of a target with a sense of self, Miss Star's understanding of the target's identity must align with its own. For targets without a sense of self, her one-sided understanding is enough to enforce the new rule. Only two targets at once, I suppose. And what's her effective range? Would it work if she called my dog Mon by his name Mon? What's gotten into me all of a sudden? The irresistible urge to test out her rules. I've never been so on edge. He must have. Then we see Star's thinking. She's thinking inside. There's like a thought that she's having. He must have a way to get around attacks that hamper his breathing. On to you now.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick that this is like quite the info dump that they're throwing in.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, this is literally what our discussion was like last time we reviewed this. But it's much more like specifically like digging down to like what really applies here. Because it was one of those things where it's like, well, it doesn't. She could have like ultimately ended up with the fact that like, or I guess like I'm also kind of like weirded out by this too because I have to reread it again. Like, what is the limit here? And that's literally Shigaraki just trying to figure this out. But pretty much it got down to like what we were talking about, and the fact that like if her understanding doesn't like mesh well with exact understanding of this being as far as like what they actually are, then it doesn't really work. But I think what's happening is the fact that she already had this understanding like who it is just simply by like the name that was introduced in like a meeting that she was involved in, but she doesn't really know the full story here. So that's coming in as a detriment a little bit. But kind of continuing on with the chapter, we have this page here where the pilot's talking to Star. So what now, Star? New order and concentrated laser fire did just about nothing to that regenerating scumbag. She thinks for a little bit. Send word to Commander Agpar.
Do you get it?
I think I do. Well, you lost me, but thank you for the context. Anyway, he was like, "For real?
Star Wars."
Yeah, I know that Horikoshi is a big Star Wars fan. That doesn't mean I have any specific knowledge that can really pick up from that, unless you see a lightsaber.
That is like the most basic of knowledge.
Yeah, that's the most like unless they really just said it's a trap. Which I think we might see something like that. Anyway, he just says like, "For real? Bad enough we ran off like half cocked without saying their say so. You're not really thinking about that. Like we oughta, if not now, then when should I exercise my special authority?" She says. This punk's just graduated from being Japan's local menace. Now he's a threat to the new world, or the whole world. We gotta use tactics that Japan lacks to make him dead now. In any case, next page, she's like, just try to give me a place to plant my feet upon arrival. Okay, bros? Then you're just like, hell.
She's so buff.
Just a flashback of her just in normal attire, but she's buff as fuck. She says, "Starting today, you boys are under my wing. When we die together, brothers." Our number one sure does ask the world of us. Hey, Wedge. Shake that raggedy lowlife like off your top side. That's Star's perch. Copy that.
Copy that.
As Shigaraki does fall off, and then the Nobu catches him. Close one, he says.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Holy shit. I jumped into the next page, not expecting this. Mark, you decide if you want to take this one. I know that you read the info dump.
I got it.
Okay.
I told you that knowing what I'm about wouldn't help you fight back. I told you. What did I say? I told you that knowing what I'm about wouldn't help you fight back. This is what I meant. The air forms into my shape, but 1,000 times bigger. Fist bump to the earth.
Oh my god.
It is legit a gigantic fucking star and stripe. Holy shit.
She reshaped the air to be like her stand.
Essentially, you see Shigaraki and he's like, "Oh fuck."
Uh-oh.
It says shiver. It says nothing's visible there, but I got a nasty feeling.
Oh, so it's actually like you don't actually see it.
But it is there. Star just cocks her fist back. Boom! Holy shit! You just see the clouds just destroyed as you see Shigaraki just set sailing.
That's that's a dumb power move, I would say.
And then you go to the next part. We see.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We just see this here. Taking any more damage is pointless, and he'd never answer if I asked for his real name. So the only way to get rid of this guy, you say clap as she just puts her hands together, is busting him down to atoms. Oh shit!
That's so fucking crazy, bruh. Just seeing all this, like, first of all, the poses, but then like getting down and trying to illustrate exactly what she and air version of her is doing is absolutely bonkers. I mean, like, look at Shigaraki's like look throughout.
Dude, next page, he is legit just. He looks like he's like staticking out.
Oh my god. Okay, next page then. Oh yeah, he is like he's full. But
Like,
let me see what I can do here. I'll take these 2 pages, but yeah, it does start with Shigaraki. Like his hair absolutely spazzed out. Like you can make out like a face, but that's just simply because humans can just do that. But otherwise,
he looks like a static image.
But what was
like,
it? Start to
looks
strike.
like a fuzzy TV.
Oh, but like he got like electrocuted or something. But yeah, no, he just got shook.
Like, I think that clap, she just clapped him in the middle of the air. He's like, bah!
I think so. Yeah, it like literally just like from like the top to bottom, just like clapped him.
Oh, like a house fly.
Yeah. She says, but you're a tough one, tough nut to crack. Bros, give me a taste of those lasers. And they're like, and then she collects them all together. The lasers, she says, as her new order, combine into one. That air. Oh my god. She is literally like Zeus right now.
Zap.
The lasers combine into one as the air version of her, which is interesting because that means that there are 2 rules in place, which means she doesn't have like her super strength like enacted on herself. But it creates this really interesting like illustration of like the invisible version of her in the air grabbing like this trident, if you will, united hyper max output laser. That's like, what the fuck?
This next page. Oh.
Okay, next page. Oh my god. Oh my god.
He did.
Oh, he's like hyper gone. Oh god, what? How do I even pronounce this? Koranios? I don't know. Y'all can like look that up. It's
Karanos? It's like Kuranos.
That's a reference to something. I know it, but I'm like it's Keraunos. Just for those who want to look that up, like in the backdrop. But literally just hits the clouds along with Shigaraki. It's just.
I think this looks like it's in the water.
It looks like water, which I mean, technically you're kind of right, but
above the ocean, so it might have hit the water by now.
It could have been the water, but you also know that the clouds are also kind of waterish too.
Because that, like, you can see in the next page, it looks like they just hit the bottom of the ocean.
I mean, that'd be wild. Oh, but someone in the intercoms is talking a non-stop blast of the max laser. He'll burn away to nothing, yeah. But she says, I doubt it. This is just keeping him pinned down. As honestly, like, now it's a lot harder to like find out like what Shigaraki is. He's just a mass.
He's just.
If this were enough, then Endeavor could have just finished the job. Star.
He really did.
Akbar, sir. Next page.
if you couldn't be any more obvious to that it's Akbar.
Oh my fucking oh my god. They really just did it. All right. I'll let you read this one.
I'm so accustomed to your independent ways that I got careless. The stunt will lose you more than just your license. Fine by me. Well, are things ready on your end yet? Sure. A special favor, just this once. And Japan's been informed that the strike is imminent. That's what I wanted to hear. The fact is, your flagrant defiance from the rules really made our nation shine all the brighter.
Oh my god, America.
And then you can see this next page. All Might himself couldn't put a proper end to this villain. I always say, All Might himself couldn't put a proper end to this villain. Prepare to surpass him, Cassie. Their name is Tiamat. Make sure every last one hits the mark. State-of-the-art, hypersonic intercontinental cruise missiles. Oh, sheesh!
That is a big sheesh moment.
Tiamat. That is a reference. Tiamat is a god. She's a god that is mentioned from the Babylonians, basically the or ancient Babylon, one of the first civilizations that ever existed in ancient Mesopotamia.
I'm still kind of on this bit about like the portrait of All Might and this kid that's her.
Right.
I'm like, bruh, like how old is All Might? My god, dude.
I mean, this is back when he was still a student, I think.
You think so? Because like he looks, I mean, obviously he already has the form, so he tried doing, like, at the very least he already graduated and has already moved to America at that point. That's the whole thing with David Shield and everything like that. And so
David Shield, wasn't he an exchange student?
Essentially All Might was definitely an exchange student, and you know, he just met David like by chance because like he was just simply working already. But I don't know like the full details about like David's background, but I just know that like All Might was with him at the time. So I would say that yeah, he was pretty much well established at that point. But then again, there's also the fact that like you could possibly see this as a tie-in with the movie because it is All Might's like old attire. He had like his varsity jacket, so it was probably early on. And then as he got like much more experience, like making himself into like a hero. I mean, Stars and Stripes is pretty much like akin to like it's almost a one to one to All Might as far as like what she's trying to like project to herself and others.
Yeah, she wants to be just like the man who saved her.
Right. So, I mean, I know that we haven't even touched up on like, I mean, granted, it's already set in stone, but it's outlandish what she is able to do.
She just smited him with the wrath of Zeus.
And here comes the missiles.
Hypersonic intercontinental cruise missiles.
But I'm glad that like she isn't like overly like cocky about like her abilities. She knows that like she needs to go all out against this dude because otherwise nothing's gonna be done. She's literally like risking like I guess her like Pacific standing for this fight.
Yeah, like she's risking her a lot for this right now. I mean, if the president of the United States chooses, he could give her a pardon and she should be okay.
Yeah. But I guess that's going a little bit further out right now. It's just kind of kept to like her, and I think the highest ranking official like right now is just Akbar.
Akbar. They even made him look like him too. It's the best part.
That's so funny. I'm like, oh my god! Like I know like the meme, so that's why I recognize the face. But it's like I can't believe they would do this. I can't believe they do this.
But with a mustache.
Listen, it takes enough to just simply just say Kamehameha to be like, oh shit, they really just did that. but this is like a next derivative of that.
It's like if Goku was actually there.
Yeah, or like, you know, if he was just like a mangaka like somewhere.
Exactly. I mean,
Can't believe
like it's just amazing. Like honestly, like that's what I like. So many Star Wars references that we're seeing right now with Wedge. Wedge is actually a pilot in Star Wars. He's actually even in the Squadrons game. Not only that, and now we have Akbar, and like, dude, like, if you look around by here, there's Star Wars references everywhere.
I'm also looking at some of the comments as well, like in the chapter. Now this is an Avengers level threat.
Now this is an Avengers level threat.
So she's literally God at this point.
Did anyone mention? Did anyone mention her using the power of might of Zeus to clap him?
I honestly, like, if I made that reference too, then I'm pretty sure someone else did too. But they are saying they're literally just gonna nuke a guy.
Or the fact that's what I'm wondering. Like, do those missiles have nuclear payloads or not?
Honestly, I like they're literally shooting lasers at him. So I think the next big thing would have to be a nuke.
They're shooting lasers. I'm just wondering if the next thing is are these just regular explosions, or are these carrying legit nuclear payloads?
It has to be, like, they want him gone.
And she said they got to reduce him to atoms, and I was like, won't get much better than a nuke.
Yeah. So it's so wild. This chapter is so wild.
Just the sheer thing of what she is doing.
I know, like, I didn't even imagine her like conjuring up like a cloud, like, no, an air form of her that's like 10,000 her size, and just has like so much like force in the air.
Is that a Jojo reference?
Yeah. She punches like with the air. She even like claps.
Man
like,
looks like a TV that's all fuzzy.
That's so doing them dirty like that. Bruh, like, all for Shiki, like, coming out here like invincible, but also ending up like invincible.
He just think, Shigaraki, think.
Think.
Man is just getting his ass handed to him.
It's all part of the growth, Shigaraki, as Alpha would say.
All part of the growth as you get your ass completely clapped.
And everything else. It's just, my god, dude. It's wild. But I also like that she has like a little bit of charm to her too. Like, obviously she's like has a very strong front to her, like in front of this villain, and she kind of carries herself the same way as All Might does. But she also knows that, like,
show her feminine side, like we just saw.
That too, but also the fact that, like, she knows she's literally asking so much of them because they're working under her.
And she's like, she's willing to make the same sacrifice they are.
Pretty much. I just love the look on the pilot's face, like, where you see, like, the quick flashback of her just saying, like, we're gonna die together as brothers, and she... It's one... It matches up with the "ah hell" response.
He's like, ah. She's like, damn it.
Number one shirt asks literally the world of us.
He said, fine.
My god. Like, I just really hope, even though they're like fully prepared for it, I don't want any of them to really die. I just want I want like potential. I just want more like potential like jokes to be had amongst all of them. Because this is too much golden stuff, because obviously, like, she's number one like in a different like country, and with that you kind of like immediately have this expectation of like how she is, like, very formal, but it's also the number one in America too. Raised by All Might too.
You're ready to say she is quite the powerhouse.
Not just that, but just simply because, you know, she has a little bit of like, what's the word? I think she's saccharine. She's like not like, well, maybe not like that. I'm thinking maybe a different world, but essentially she's not overly serious. She is serious about like decking like all for Shiggy with everything. She is serious about that, but just simply
I'm just glad that they went through with what I had in mind. It's not an eagle, but they did use a gigantic buff version of her. All it was missing was the eagle head.
That's true. You did mention that.
Like literally, all it was missing was the eagle head.
Listen, when they showed that panel of like 1,000 times like bigger than her, and it really just reminded me of the Statue of Liberty.
Fist bump to the earth. I was like, holy shit.
There's nothing visible there, but I got like this nasty feeling. Then
Shigaraki's like, there's nothing there, but I feel like my cheeks are about to be clapped.
My cheeks immediately like clenching. I don't know why. In like half a second, gets just knocked up.
And then as he's hit down, she just
The clap.
and that's when he just starts looking like a static TV image. And that's when she just freaking gets a lightning bolt. Zeus!
Bros, give me the lasers.
Bros, lasers. Got you. Zeus. It's like Smite, buy my bid.
She handles the lasers. My god.
Like a freaking lightning bolt or like a lightsaber. She just.
Sheesh, dude. This is just. I got nothing to say about this chapter. This is so outlandishly great.
That's what the chapter's gonna be called. Just sheesh.
No, it's just a trap. It's a chapter. It's a reference.
You just show Ed Rakbar. Sheesh.
Oh my god. I already did the bit about the sheesh bit. Just her like initial like appearance. I was like, sheesh.
She's stacked.
Like I don't even know what her fandom is like on the other side. Like we know that people like go crazy over Mountain Lady and then also like Midnight at the time. So I can't imagine what like Horikoshi's like idea of the fandom in the United States for their #1 American hero is gonna be.
I mean, I would say probably a variety of things, really.
Because he can easily go into the whole American stereotype of like what that support would be, but also there's also the gross side of it too.
I mean, she's clearly like they say, she's clearly brick.
Absolute brick.
She is buff thick.
She is a buff thick.
Like she's all most of that's muscle. Like she is ripped.
Bro, y'all seen Nana, right? Well, how about this? It's like, holy shit.
Oh my god, you could grind meat on those.
Is that Superman but in like Hulk's body? Like, oh my god, dude.
Like, I mean, I imagine she probably has a fan base that's like any of the others, like you'd expect for any of the other female heroes.
Mm-hmm. Listen, we all stand for Hawks, right? But now here comes here's the new meta.
We stand Hawks, but now that we stand Star.
We stand Star. Oh my god. Oh, I was gonna look up exactly whatchamacallit, the release date for this one. But I'm
pretty sure it said 7 days.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be 332, and then the next one after that is 333.
333.
So, I guess that's pretty much it. I got no other closing thoughts about this chapter. It's wild.
Closing thoughts. Sheesh.
This, like, I'll still at that point where like when Naruto showed off like the first like Hokage level like fight, I was like, ah shit, this is when things really go down. And you know, like a lot of like shonen like to get to that point where it's like this is like this is this is the big leagues that you get to see, and this is just like it somehow gets to outdo itself each
It's like
time.
you never thought you'd see something of this caliber in My Hero.
I
Hold my beer.
know. Listen, I was more expecting what like Salam is, which is like which is just
Paper
two
thin.
paper thin.
That's why he's so fast, because he's fucking paper thin.
That still doesn't even make sense to me. But you know what?
He's legit. He's legit Egyptian Flat Stanley.
My God, yeah. But okay, I think we'll go ahead and call it. This has just been an outlandish one, but it's a good one for sure. It just makes me so curious as to like how do they top this? Like, I thought like, I mean, granted, like, I think there's something nice about My Hero in the sense that like All Might kind of represents like the top of the ladder, and we've seen that since like near day one, right? And the fact is that like Deku trying his best to meet that expectation, we always see this high level of fights like occurring no matter what. But because like All Might's kind of the ceiling point, we see that multiple times with different villains in different like applications. So we always wonder like what could possibly like outdo this, and this is just one of those examples where it's like it's kind of on that ceiling, if not like is beyond that ceiling. It's just so
Pretty
wild.
much. When you make Zeus,
Right, like once Deku did full count 100%, I thought like he's hitting that ceiling right now. He's literally giving like overall the work.
I mean, yeah, like that was like he could use it to its full potential, no matter what.
Right. And so and that dynamic was really cool. And then you see Stars and Stripe doing this shit.
And this is just with her base ability.
Granted, she's getting a lot of help. Like honestly, if she pulled up with like bombers with like versus overall is like, I'm done. No, I'm good.
Oh no, he would have been like, I surrender.
I surrender right then and there. I don't want to do
I
any.
surrender.
And you know,
I
like
surrender.
I think that's super cool because it also makes you look back like, okay, so who would have won in this like matchup here? This and that and this and that and this and that. Because we always think about the fact that Stain doesn't really have a physical like boosting ability.
No, he's just all his ability is like his physical prowess is all his own.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that his quirk it just allows him to paralyze his opponents which makes it easier.
Yeah. But he relatively held his own against like 3 students with quirks that like are all like both physically boosting but also like just have like a level of nature like applied to them. So it's like I'll still cut you guys down. I mean, but he did get the work there too. It's just so wild.
He got big work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we also have like villains shown. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll be straying off the topic, but all right, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover about this chapter. It's nutty, but it's great for like just being as outlandish as it is, because we just need
It
to
really
like,
is.
because we Hirokoshi just really wants to show you that like this is all business right now.
He wants to show you the peak of the United States.
This is the peak. They're literally dropping nukes on one individual person.
As their top hero legitimately uses the might of Zeus.
Literally smites the dude.
Hey man, you gotta admit, when you think about it, I'm sure Japan's heroes are amazing. But I wouldn't expect no less coming from the United States. I would expect us to have something extremely powerful.
I mean, that's just part of it. Like, obviously they're gonna have quirks like just like Inca, where it's just like where it's like I just pull things like slowly to my hand. That's all I do. This other dude just like breathes fire, but like moderately, and then you just have one that has New Order.
Exactly. It's like just how it would be anywhere else on Earth. You're just gonna have a variety of powers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you're gonna have some that are super powerful. You're gonna have some that are like, meh.
I just poop clean poop.
New order.
No, don't. Your excrements will be clear and as clean as the day.
And smell like a Cinnabon.
You smell like a Cinnabon?
It's just like, oh god, why does the inside of this bathroom now smell delicious?
No, I just said smell. It doesn't mean taste.
I said smell. I didn't say it tasted delicious.
I know that,
No.
but I'm willing.
No.
I was gonna say, new order. If Frank Ocean wakes up today, he's going to write his song.
Oh god.
My God, Star, you're an absolute menace. Stop this. But yeah, okay. That's it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for the manga chapter, as well as actually the movie discussion that we had earlier. And that's pretty much it.